Hi there everybody, and welcome to another video. On today's video I have this Mercedes B200 diesel, and I'm gonna be changing the V-belt here. So this here is the V-belt or micro V-belt or multi-rib belt, fan belt, alternator belt. It's got lots of names, but that's the belt I'm gonna be changing. Or auxiliary belt is the one that basically runs all the auxiliary wheels, like, you know, power steering, AC, alternator and whatnot. And the reason I'm going to be changing it, it's because it is the original one in this car. Having said that, it hasn't done that many miles, but the main reason I'm changing it is because the idler pulley there is actually a bit noisy and is actually moving side by side. So the pulley I'm talking about is this little one here, which is sitting right down there. And I don't know, I'm gonna start the car. I'm gonna show you if we can see the wiggle that I'm talking about. I think you can might just about see a little bit, but it's really hard to see because the camera sort of fixes the movement. But I have seen it quite closely, and that belt is definitely wiggling. Anyway, no point going on about it, we can't really see it. But although it's quite minor, it's quite a minor movement. Sorry, I had to sneeze. It's kind of going like this, and eventually that pulley, that idler pulley here, will fail. And then when it fails, it will snap the belt, or the belt will come off and you're going to break down. So obviously, if we can spot something like this early, we can just try to fix it. So anyway, in order to do that, I'm gonna get the car up, remove the front wheel, sort of remove the splash guard there. So before I remove the belt, and before I can obviously change the little idler wheel, I need to remove the belt. I just made a little drawing of how the belt fits, because there is a few wheels down there, and I don't want to forget. So I've got my little drawing here. So I recommend you to do one in case you haven't got one of these pulleys. In this case, I have the tensioner, I have the AC pump, I have the idler wheel that I need to replace, I have the alternator. So you can see the belt goes around like this, like that, around the alternator, around what I think is the power steering down there, and then around the crankshaft, and then it comes back up via the tensioner there. So now I can safely remove that that belt. So we're gonna need a 17mm spanner. I haven't got the really long ones, so in this case scenario I'm gonna use a short spanner, 17mm, together with another one, so I can pull and get the tension off the belt, and hopefully be able to remove the belt from here. Okay, I have a 17mm spanner here, and I'm just gonna show you where I'm going to put it so you have an idea. It's basically that there. That kind of does not look like a bolt or a nut or whatever, but it's a 17mm size spanner of this type, the ring type, like this. So I'm gonna put it in there, and you can see where it's going. Okay, so with that in place, now you know where it goes. All I'm going to do is I am going to put this other spanner on here, like so. Make sure one more time that the bottom of the wrench is sitting properly, and then release the tension on the belt. You can see the belt's tension is kind of getting released. And so I can just about maybe grab the belt from here. So I just got it from the side there, and you can take it out like so. Once it's out, release the tension. And that is one released belt. So now now basically I'm probably gonna leave the wrench there. I don't really need it, but what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get the car up, remove the front wheel, remove the splash guard, because that way we can get the belt off a bit better, and also put the new one. But also I can access the little idler wheel, which I need to change. I remove the wheel, and now we want to remove this splash guard to get access to the belt. So I went ahead and removed all the nuts and bolts and clips, whatever is holding this splash guard in place. So let me just show you. We got an 8mm, 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 and a lot of these little clips where you have to pull the center out in order to get the clip out. So quite a few of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I removed 3 of these plastic 10mm nuts, and also I've got another 4 8mm bolts in there. Now those bolts came out of the bottom cover here, so I just removed 1, 2, 3, and 4 of those in order to get this splash guard. It's gonna be sitting in there like that. So I'm just pushing this down a bit and getting this out. So there's gonna be another clip there which I undone, and there's another 10mm plastic clip there. We can then sort of hopefully get this under there, and the 10mm nut came out of there, came out of here, and it came out of somewhere else up here. Yes, just up here. And all the other little clips, they came out of here, 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 here. One of the 8mm bolts came out of there, and the other little clip, plastic clip from there. And I just noticed that there is another one just here, so you're gonna kind of need a tool like this. Pull the center out and pull that bit out. And I am hoping I can find a little bit that came out because once you drop something, it disappears for life if you didn't catch it. So I'm gonna just look for it. Right, I couldn't find the bit that sits inside of that pin. So never mind. I might find it later, I might not. So anyway, now it's time to wiggle this out. So it's just a matter of, I think I haven't missed any clips. So it's a matter of just wiggling the whole thing out and So there's no point me filming here because you literally just have to pull it out. Once your splash guard is out, you're gonna have room here. You can see your belt, and obviously we already released the belt. So we have, all we have to do now is sort of maneuver that belt out of here, but it's already loosed. So just try and pull it down. That's it. Not too bad. This belt is not exactly beginning to crack or anything, but it was sort of, one of the lines here was sort of burning a little bit, or sort of running a little bit odd, and I think that is because of this idler that I have here, which is I can feel it moving a little bit. It's got a little bit of play, so that's the idler that we want to change anyway. And for that we need a socket, but I don't think I can get a socket here, so I might have to use an 11 mil. I think it might be an 11 or a 10 that we can, okay, that is that's a 10. With that 10 I might be able to open that, so I'll give that a go. It is a bit loose, to be fair. May try a 9. Right, I'm just using a 10, and I'm using the same method as I did on top, so I can open that little bolt, which shouldn't be too tight. And that is pretty much loose now. I'm hoping there is enough room here to get this whole thing out. Okay, there. It's out. And here I have the new one, which comes with a bolt. I can't see any Loctite on the thread there, so I won't be using any. But basically, it looks a bit oily, to be honest. I'm not sure why, but just making sure it's the same size. So basically, refitting is the reversal of removal. So I was able to undo this with a 10 mil spanner, grab to another one with not a lot of effort, which means this little bolt is not going to be tightened too terribly. That's something to remember. So I'm gonna use my 10 mil. Tighten this bolt. This wheel rotates on the direction of the tightening of the bolt anyway. So, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put that there again with my spanner, give it an extra bit of tightening. So I can't quite do it anymore from this point. It's very hard. So with my spanner I can do it a little bit more. Maybe from there, that point to there or so. So we don't want to damage anything or force anything. That's the main thing, because once you damage something, a thread, a bolt or anything, then you're stuck, because you have to get, and today is a Saturday, so I wouldn't be able to get any bits, and then the car stuck like this. So I always sort of recommend being gentle with things. I'm pretty sure you can find the torque setting for that on the internet. There's plenty of information. Okay, my idler wheel is now nice and tight in there. I've got my brand new belt here, so I'm just going to wiggle that in there. So again, it's no point me filming that, it's just literally wiggling this belt in and trying to get it all around the wheels up to the top where we can put it back on. So got my belt in there. I'm going to go now. I'm going to lower the car and try to put it at the top now. I think, well, you might have to go up and down. I don't know. It really depends how well this holds here. So just try to make sure it's all around the grooves, so you can pull it at the top and get it onto the next wheel. If in any of these grooves is in the wrong position, like something sitting like that, then obviously you're going to struggle pulling the belt up. So it's just there. You can also get your hand, just about get your hand up here through this hole and pull the belt up a bit. So now I've got it around the alternator, around the idler and the tensioner, which we can't really see. But that's why you have a drawing, so you know how to fit it back. Right, so a little bit of a struggle I had was trying to get the belt in between the belt, two parts of the belt, or two sides, go in between the tensioner and the idler wheel. And so there's a smaller gap in there, but they do fit, it does fit. It's just that when you put in one from below, it pushes the other one out. So just from up here, I've sort of manipulated them both in. Really hard to see, to be fair. But both parts of the belt are in. So basically I'm talking about, if we have a look at the drawing here, this little section here between, so right, this part here between the tensioner and the idler, you have the belt that, so one side of the belt going through there and the other side of the belt going through there, through this gap. And that's where we are sort of, you might have to fiddle with that a little bit. I haven't done anything specific, I just used this really long sort of screwdriver thing. This is really for pulling clips, to manipulate the belts together. Right, now it's time to release the tension and put the belt back on. Right, let's give this a first attempt. So I'm just gonna pull the belt, make sure I've got the whole thing. Maybe just put it there for now. Right, I don't know what's happening here. So Okay, it's sort of, as I was pulling it, it sort of came off the idler a little bit. But now I'm just making sure it's all sitting nicely. If it's not, you can adjust it a little bit, or it will adjust itself. Well, it's best to adjust it while you can, but let me just show you what I mean. If it's not sitting exactly properly, because sometimes it comes off if it's not sitting properly. Right, you can see, if you look at the belt, if you look at the actual, right, just there, if you look at the tensioner, you can just about see the belt sitting to the right of it. So we want to make sure it sits properly, as to avoid, because if it came out from that point for whatever reason, it will just get shredded or whatever. So I'm gonna try and fix that now. So maybe I'll release a little bit of the tension and pull it into the center. Okay, I managed to just pull it a little bit more into the center. Might be able to see, but it's still sitting a little bit to the side. So now I think I can see it's going all around the correct wheels, all around the right grooves. So once I start it, it should just center itself out. Let me get it started. And that already sounds much better, because this car was sounding really horrible. Right, so you might be able to see now how that has centered itself. And I no longer have that belt is no longer wiggling like this as it was. It was hard to see in the video at the beginning, but that's what it was doing. That's one of the reasons I was replacing that belt. Anyway, having said that, don't forget that to like and subscribe, and anything you do or you don't do to your vehicle is at your own risk. This is just a guide as I am doing it, so I might as well film it. And if it helps anybody, then that's great. But working with cars and tools and having to do all of this obviously carries a level of risk, or even if you didn't fit it properly, or you can injure yourself. So these things are stuff to consider always. So I repeat, if you do it, it's your choice, for yourself and for your car. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and refit this splash guard. Obviously, refitting the splash guard is just reversal of removal. There's no mathematical science to it. The hardest part, I guess, is changing the belt. This is just sort of the cosmetic stuff. So, hope the video helps. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.